always there. And God bless everyone.
The Four Leaf Clover podcast is sponsored by Planet Celtic.
Yo, legends. Yo, Andy. What's happening, brother?
Not much. Down in Stranraer. Actually like to pick up for the port in the morning, heading up the road. So just excited to see all the business that Celtic's going to be doing in the next, what have we got now? Half an hour?
Yeah, the next 30 minutes, mate. The critical 30 minutes. That's what we wanted to do for the legends in the stream, right? Keiser's first time in the driver's seat, basically. But Andy's my co-pilot. He's it's like a driving lesson, basically. He's got the controls as well. Thought we'd bring this show, do the last 30 minutes, get how we're all feeling about the window, right? Everybody, your frustrations, what the business we've done, the lack of business we've done, the business we've already done. As we know, we've had Thiago Holm go out on loan to LAFC, Stephen Welsh to FC Michelin, Alexandro Bernabe was sold to International, and Kyogo went out to Stade Rennes for 10 million. So lots of people looking here. As well as that, Andy, we've got the Greg Taylor situation, his contract running out. Kieran Tierney, is he going to arrive? Is that going to be a last-minute coup? We have signed him on a pre-contract, and that did happen this window. So that's a little bit of caveat to it. But is he going to be able to be here? The Schlupp deal looks to be a loan deal. How happy are we with that? Things like that, Andy. Your thoughts on any of that, brother?
I think I've touched on the most recent one, which is Schlupp, 32-year-old left back. I just, I mean, I knew who he was. I didn't really know much about him, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to sit here and say I've got an encyclopedia of knowledge about him, because I don't. He plays left back, can play left wing. He can play central midfield as well. And also, if you look at Wikipedia, a striker as well. So a guy that can play all over the park. Very left field. I don't know where it's came from, but it's happening. He was as of I think it was what time is it now? So I think as of about 9 o'clock, he was undergoing a medical in London. So that will happen. 32-year-old. I don't know. It's a stopgap. It's we certainly had to get somebody in. He's certainly experienced. There's no doubt about that. But one, I just nobody probably predicted that. I've seen a picture of Brendan at the airport the day, so he's away down there for something, isn't he? I don't know if it's that, but he's down there for something. So the next half an hour is going to be quite interesting. What about yourself, Keiser? If you get feelings in your bones that there's going to be more than Schlupp coming in, how are you actually feeling about it?
I'm Andy. I'm a crazy hawk, mate. I'm an eternal optimist. I think Brendan, Michael Nicholson, and Peter Lawwell's down there the now shaking hands with French Eddie. Get French Eddie up the road. I said that at the start of the window, and people were like, "No, you're down tools." I'm like, he's scored 21 goals in that season. He's supposedly down tools. Get a big man up the road. See if a big man come up the road right now. If that was an announcement, people would lose their shit. When it comes to Schlupp, very versatile player, Andy. You hit that nail in the head. What a player to come in and cover Greg Taylor, considering Greg Taylor is our only inverting fullback who often finds himself in the midfield in very advanced areas. Probably say kind of Swiss Army knife signing there we've managed to bring in. Disappointed it's a loan, right? I would love a permanent solution there. I was looking at maybe Penrice or something coming in from Hearts, bringing a young Scottish talent who we could really develop and work with. I still hold out hope for that, Andy, for other transfers coming. I don't know exactly what's happening with the Lennon Miller deal as well. There was big waves about it earlier in the day, and then it ran cold. That's something that could be pushed through. He's in the vicinity to paradise, Andy. You'll probably be able to smell his aftershave up there at the big stadium.
I know, I forgot I was there. I'm saying I'm in Stranraer and I've got Celtic Park behind us. Absolutely. I was telling the truth, I wasn't lying. I think Lennon Miller thing had been spoke about earlier on when actually the lead up to the opening of the window was get this done and get this done. And I just don't know what's going to happen there. I think he's one you would like to get in the door. He's definitely one for the future. He's a very young man. He's a captain of Motherwell. Very gifted young guy. And I think if it was a case of getting him in, staying at Motherwell for 6 months and then get him in at the end of the season, then fair dues. Personally, I'd like to get him in the door and be working with Brendan right away. But I don't understand why they would be keeping him at Motherwell until the end of the season. But just my personal opinion, I would like him right in the door right away. Whether that's going to happen, I don't know. What they're talking about, 5.3 million or something like that, the numbers that are coming up now. So you can guarantee that come the summer, that the numbers will rise. I know he's new, but come the summer, it'll be more than that. And plus there might be more people interested in him as well. And if the big bucks and the shining lights down south in the Premier League come calling, then there's only one place he's going to go into. So I think you need to try and strike while the iron's hot. And a wee bit of pre-planning with Celtic would be good, because we've not really seen that since probably AJ in for Juranovic before he went. Get players in. We've been kind of not messed about, but we've been caught sleeping at the wheel. This window with Kyogo gone, no replacement in place. We've got Greg Taylor, who has now signed a new deal. What is if he's going out the door? We've got him, and that's it. So a wee bit disappointing for that point of view. You look at the guy, what's his name again? The guy that's come in to do recruitment. Can't mind his name. Aye, that's his name.
Football doctor.
Yes.
Where is the doctor?
Exactly. Aye. So you wonder what they're actually doing behind the scenes, don't you? But you're ever as you said, you're ever the optimist. So you're hoping that they can pull a couple of things out the bag at least, because it's not as if it's not just a kind of luxury thing that we need it. It's pretty obvious the areas we're trying to strengthen. We need to do it for a reason, So
yeah, there's one man, Scotty, currently skydiving into Gibraltar, James Bond style.
Aye,
so he's got the martini in one hand, the glass in the other. Yeah, definitely. It's funny you mention it, Andy, right? We all were disappointed with the business we were doing when Mark Lawwell was in there, right? We were looking at those Man City school project players that we were bringing in, and we were not happy about it. That's what's seen him go on garden and leave. And Tisdale came in, the football doctor, who it remains to be proven how good he is. I think the AJ one it's a saving grace when it comes to Mark Lawwell and that. When I think of some of the transfers they managed to get done and the business was done very early. But then I think about, the business was done early because Ange Postecoglou had those business contacts. And Alistair Johnston came to Celtic because Victor Wanyama clued us in. So they never really engineered that business. They may have facilitated it, but they never really went out and carved it out of the stone, so to speak. So, I'm looking for, what is Tisdale doing? What is the new scout? 60-year-old scout? Pleat? What is he scouting down?
He's 80.
He's 80. I was giving him my credit in his work. I thought he was into scouting the Necropolis next door to the stadium, mate, to be honest with you.
I'm only 27, so you better go and get the eyes tested, mate.
It's the filters, my man. It's the filters we all use to make it handsome. Everybody in chat as well. Welcome in, everybody, right? Comments flashing up on screen. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for your activity. There's a lot of competition on a night like tonight with other pods, other Celtic pods out there. We're going to try to keep it a little bit positive, but go through it. As I say, Andy, I think so far we've done some stellar business this window. When I look at the players we've got out there, I think to myself, it's kind of like amputating rotten flesh. There was some bad attitudes in there, some prima donnas wanting it to be all about them. We've managed to get rid of them, trim the squad down, and at the same time, we've managed to do absolutely stellar business in the signing on a pre-contract of Kieran Tierney and the return of Jota. So that is two big, that is like two big round cakes that I've got to eat, Andy. But for some reason, I'm looking for the next cake. Where's my striker? Where's the quality left back to come in for cover? This loan is going to see us through, of course, with Schlupp. But where are the midfielder? What's going on there? There's a lot left to be answered, I feel, by this window. Are we going to do it in the closing stages? I would like to think Celtic are famous for wrapping up business very late and going for some crazy deals. I hope there's no Diego Laxalza in the post on the way. So as long as it's good business we do, Andy, I would rather no business than rushed, poor business. I don't know what you think about that, my man.
Aye, it shouldn't be rushed anyway, mate. We've had over a month. So, I mean, when you come down to pre-planning, all right, you can't approach players or whatever, but that still happens, all that tapping up and finding out whether players are interested or not. It's still going to happen. Even more so now, there's so much ways to get a hold of people and stuff like that. It's not as if you're sending a letter with carrier pigeon, do you know what I mean? And hoping nobody gets a hold of it to see if you're talking to a player or not. So we just say like, all right, Jota, look, that people were talking about Jota, and was MD really serious thinking it was going to happen? It was just kind of spoken about, and it did happen. And he's already in and scored a goal in his first game back. So that's a fairy tale in itself. Kieran Tierney coming back as well. All right, that might be a smart bit. I think that I'm really happy with that. I'm happy with Tierney. I think that, all right, he's still an Arsenal player and they're entitled to do whatever they want, but that's definitely Arteta with his wee Hun costume on, having a wee last dig that he can get in there. I'm absolutely convinced of that. It was totally out of the picture. He was away and loan to Sociedad, away back. There was talk of him going to Newcastle at one point as well. So they've had no interest in Kieran Tierney. The fact that they've got him on the bench and bringing him on the park when he's been totally out of the picture is just a fuck you to me, because they've paid us 25 million for him and we're going to get him back for nothing. So, the circle comes back round, and when you look at it, it's fantastic business for Celtic, because the same with Jota, they're paying a fraction of what they got for him to get him back, and they've sold, all right, they've sold Kyogo, but you gave up money between the two clubs. It's basically nothing between them, but we still need a striker in there. I don't know, I drifted away off there, mate, so I don't even know.
That's fine, Andy. That's what we're looking to here. We're all drifting off. Like you said yourself there, Andy, my man, absolutely coup of business when you look at it from the outside. Celtic have just re-signed on a free transfer, a £25 million transfer. And okay, he's seen his injury woes and worries. No wonder Arsenal are stamping their feet, because we've ripped our pants down, exposed their skid marks, and we're taking our boy back. You get me, my man? We are all over that, in my opinion. So no wonder they're angry. They don't want to let him up the road early. They don't want us being overjoyed, delighted, overpowered. We could challenge them in the Champions League still. There might be about 3% chance of it happening, but it could happen. So they're right to protect themselves. No problem at all. Salty business is good for me.
Aye, just touching on Foley there with a comment. Don't need a new striker till the summer. No point being held to ransom in this window. The problem with that is you've got Adam Ida, and if he gets injured, you've got nobody. And a lot of people have mentioned Maida through the middle, which is fair enough. If you really get to a point you've got nobody that you can play him through there, but we shouldn't be in that position. That's the whole point. It's not as if we're strapped for cash. The funds are there. There's absolutely no reason for us to be scrimping and scraping about in the last half an hour of the window to try and get somebody in. Especially when Brendan is actually commented on it. when Kyogo went that he wanted away for months. So they've known that there's a possibility it could happen in this window. Maybe they weren't expecting it, but when the offer comes in and they know that he wants away, it's better to get rid of a player than keep on a player that's unhappy at your club, because the heat's going to go down. He's not going to give you the same performances. So he's better out the door and take the money for him. But they should add something in place. They should add somebody in place. This garden, I mean, Celtic have had him on the radar for about two years or something like that. He's always kind of spoken about, and it just never seems to get to the point where they're making any serious moves on him. I think it maybe did happen this window, but it's stupid money they're talking about. I mean, if a club's, for talk's sake, saying we want 14 million for him, and Celtic's getting me an offer of fucking 5 million or 6 million, it's like, you're way off. You know, you've got to be serious about. All right, it doesn't mean you're going to get into a club and just empty your pockets and go, right, just take whatever it is you want for your player, you know. You have got to negotiate, but low balling all the time isn't a great look, and it gets you a bad reputation. I know when it does come to going by players, and it's like, watch this mob, by the way, because they come in and try and steal players off you for nothing. But to be fair to Celtic, when it does come to getting rid of players, I think they've done a really good job. You know, we made money on Bernabei. Big Lawwell making what he went for, was it 3 million he went for?
I think it was between 3 and 5 million he went for, Andy. So that was like marvellous business.
Unbelievable business. So they're very savvy when it comes to that, but I think sometimes when they're trying to get players in, they can be a wee bit kind of, I don't know, I don't even know the word, mate. Just a bit slow and
a bit cumbersome. Just to give them a wee bit of credit there, Andy, right? I know the Creeks Garden one was mentioned for a long time, right? I believe we did go in with a serious offer, and when we went in seriously and offered like 7 million on my first offer for them, and they said they wanted 10. And then the closer it got to the end of the window, they started crying out for figures close to 14 million with 20% sell-on added to the deal. And then I believe the last I seen reports on him is he's going to Celta Vigo on loan with an option to buy for 7.5 million. So is that a club trying to pull our pants down and rob us for money because they know we're cash rich? Is that what we're facing right now? And also, I know we are down there right now, right? Looking at Danny Ings, supposedly was the murmurs that were out and about. He was playing tonight down in Chelsea, so we were supposed to be there watching him as well. I don't know if that one's a goer. I don't know. I watched a little bit of the game. I seen a little bit of him play. Hesitant to judge someone just clicking on one game and judge them in that small window. But he did not look like the answer, Andy, unless the question is, who does my granny replace in the squad? Who's a better loan deal? I told my nana to start warming up just in case we got a call.
I know. I've seen that about things. A player who's been at Liverpool, all right, wasn't there for a long time, but was a really good player in his day. To be honest with you, I don't even know much about him. I don't watch a huge amount of English football. But obviously he's at West Ham now, was at Southampton as well. So I think in his day he was a really good goal scorer. Coming to Scotland, I suppose that people will be saying, oh, anybody can score up there, but it's not as easy as what people make it as. He's 32 now. The last I heard, they were looking at a loan deal to buy. And I'm just not sure about that, mate. A 32-year-old. I think I can understand maybe getting him in on a loan basis just at the end of the season. If they've got somebody else in plan, a kind of longer term option that they can't get to the summer, a kind of stopgap, bit of a backup for Ida. Again, he's probably he's not the same kind of player as Kyogo, same kind of size. He's stockier, but when it comes to height, he's not much bigger than Kyogo. So you've got that kind of difference between Ida and Ings if he did come in. I don't know how to think about that, mate. I really don't. I'm actually really disappointed that we're at this stage when it comes to a striker. Really,
Yeah.
it's
Just seen
disappointing.
that
But
note
mate,
there, Andy, that it was 10 minutes, you know, the final 10 minutes before the window closes, and it's bring his French Eddie, bring him in. we're looking for those holy Mary deals, and see what happens here. I'm refreshing my feed on the social media over there to see if anything pops up. But that's as fast as it's coming. Basically, chat's going to be just as fast as us. So if anything that you see on your social media, make sure you're getting it in and notifying us boomers and dinosaurs that don't have social media. I'm sorry to cut you off there, Andy. I just seen that French Eddie comment. I've got. I'm all for it. And I wanted to say to everybody as well, Andy likes this one. This is one of Andy's favourite. Make sure you're smashing the like. And make sure you're smashing the subscribe, legends. Andy likes that one. You have to set it up, Andy. Make sure the voice was through the earphones.
I'm having a look at Sky Sports now, but nothing's when it comes to Celtic. I've just not been into it yet.
Big Lawwell's got a bank locked up for another year. Like Scrooge McDuck, he's going to be swimming. He's going to be swimming in pound coins.
Apparently, is it true that the three of them are down there? Nicholson. Yes. Well, so you'd imagine it's something bigger than Danny Ings, isn't it? It's something bigger than Schlupp. So
that's what I think, Andy. I think that's a divide and conquer move. That seems to me like you send Peter to close that loan deal because that's done business. You send Michael Nicholson on a money deal where we can get something done to bring someone in, and you send Brendan out in charmer mode and snake charm mode to bring in a third. But as I told you, I'm the eternal optimist. I'm expecting 3 big names another 2 names to roll out after Schlupp, because we know that one's confirmed. But it remains to be seen. As I say, this is the great thing about when your club does have money. You get to stay up late at night and watch these things unfold, unlike the other half of the city who've been in their Queen Elizabeth jammies and tucked up in bed since about 8 o'clock when their club says business was over. So this is harsh, right, Andy? This is hard going through this, sitting in needles and pins, watching the window unfold. But at the same time, it's a great thing to be here and have these things to moan about and not moan about, given the business we've done. We're very spoiled sometimes as a fan group.
I think, to be honest with you, I think domestically, I think we'll be all right with what we've got. I really do think that. And then you can see the board's point of view. They're looking at the Munich game and they're going, what is the chances he's actually doing anything here? And they're maybe thinking, let's hang off to the summer. Let's not be panicked into anything. So you can see, I don't think we're going to be troubled domestically, but there's that game against Bayern Munich. I think majority of fans are looking at that game and thinking that really we don't really stand a chance. But there is a fair positive comment saying not going to be doom and gloomy about it. Let's go on positive, and I think it is a good thing that the first game's at Celtic Park, because then you know where you stand. I think if we were a first game in Munich and we get a bit of a heavy defeat, it's when it comes to Celtic Park. So I'm looking forward to the Munich game. I think it's going to be extremely hard, but at Celtic Park, anything's possible. And if we can take anything out of Munich, I think, and we can get a good performance like the one we did in Atalanta, then anything's possible. And can you imagine if we get through against Bayern Munich? That's going to give us when we go in and we've got Adam Ida up front himself and nobody else. And we've got Greg Taylor on the left and all these superheroes. You know what I mean? In fact, and obviously that's tongue-in-cheek, it just made you aware of how much we miss Maeda when you seen him against Motherwell. We did an absolutely fantastic game. And it frustrates the life out of me that we didn't face them. We are really. I know they had a few players missing, but see if we had a full team out, that'd have been a different game, mate. Especially with Maeda on the pace. If we had Jota as well, do you know what I mean? So it annoys me that you've got Kunde and that other fucking knobend. What's his name? He was on that open goal. Fucking idiot. Played with Spurs. Can't mind his name. The two of them,
No.
couple of clowns sitting there, ripping the piss
Chattel Bale is out, Andy.
The
Chattel Bale is out with that one. Of
I
course,
can't
mate. Right, they need to look. They need to diminish what we've got here. You know what I mean, Andy? It's why have a plasma TV
Jamie
and
O'Hara.
a jacuzzi? O'Hara, that's that. Why have a plasma TV? Why have a nice car if your neighbour's car's the exact same as yours? It's about showing off. It's keeping up with the Joneses. They love to put us down. Had it been a pre-season friendly, we would have smashed them, Andy. That kind of talk, you know. But had we been at full strength, I'd fancy your chances against Villa. Away at their stadium, yeah, I would still fancy our chances. We came right back into that game, as I said, and we rattled them. If we would have kept our foot on their throat and went with the emphasis, I think we could have done well. Even then, even with missing some players and squad looking a bit depleted, not to mention Paradise. To touch on the Munich game, Andy, I always love the away game first and then bring them back to Paradise because you know exactly what you've got to do and we're capable of absolutely anything in the theatre of dreams. So I'm the other way. I hear people say that they're disappointed it's at home first or they're happy it's at home first. Like you're liking the idea of getting a result at Paradise and going over there with something to fight for and defend because of a Bergamo result.
I think the crowd will be in a better mood in the first game at Celtic Park than they would if the second game was at Celtic Park because there's a very, very good chance we might not get a result in Munich. So if that was the first game and you're coming back to Celtic Park, the optimism's kind of away a wee bit, but I think with the first game it might push the players on to actually get a result against them. And
we don't know if the fans are going to be there as well, Andy, at this stage. We've still not heard anything on that subject as well.
They'll be at home anyway. It's just the away games. They'll not be it. But obviously, when's the first game? 9 days, is it? 9 days to the first game at Celtic Park.
Yeah, I think it is, mate. I think that's spot on.
And the fans are looking to book hotels and get stuff organised for travel, and they don't know if they're going to be going or not. So you know, UEFA need to get their finger out and get the decision made. So it's that shutdown. So
final 2 minutes. I don't think anything's came out. Anything's been announced, which is why they call it window pane. You know, Andy. But I've not even seen the loan deal announced yet. I've seen that mentioned in chat earlier on as well. The Schlupp deal. I've not even seen that officially announced either. So
well, that's it. I mean, it doesn't need to be announced right now. You know, as long as in fact they don't get an extra hour or is it even into tomorrow or something like that to actually get the full paperwork done. So, but usually we would be inclined something happening, wouldn't you, if it was going to?
I don't know precisely, Andy, because it's I don't know. Like we always seem because it's ran late this year because we're into February for the window. I don't know if there's exemptions, if there's special conditions, anything like that at all. I've not got a clue, mate. I didn't even go and think that would come up as a question, so delve into it. I'm quite disappointed in myself that one of you don't know. At least somebody in chat will maybe help us out. But the fact that the team were down there really filled me with enthusiasm, Andy. You heard me saying it. Send the 3 different men in 3 different directions. There's a chance to do some great business there. Nothing seems to have happened there. The window is closed ever so gently. And I don't know if anything's squeezed through in the final moments or if we're waiting for any announcements. As me and Andy says, right, we're going to hang about for a while after the window's closed. Talk about it. We're going to just treat it as that's it right now. The window's closed. How do you feel about the window? This is what we're presented with. Kyogo's left. We've not brought in a striker. We have brought in Jota. It does look like the front line's going to be pretty fluid with Diaz and Maeda going in and out of there. Are you happy with that? Are you unhappy with that, chat? How do you feel about the left-back situation, the midfield situation? the full shebang. And you, Andy, first, of course, because you're here, mate, you get to continue talking. You get to be first to say how you feel about it. So, fire away, big man.
Again, it's hard to tell. I know the window's just shut and we've not heard anything as yet, but usually we things trickle out. But usually you get an idea that something's been done. Somebody knows something. And I just don't see it. I just don't see it going through. Just we were expecting so much, I think. Well,
it's like they say it, Andy, there's no smoke without fire. Well, we're not seeing smoke or fire at this stage. It is very much like the window's closed and it's disappointing end. Business as usual from Celtic, despite the flights down to London.
What a programme that is, mate. What a programme that is. One of the best. One of the best ever.
That's Michael Nicholson, who's actually the spitting image of the guy that's in that. That's what he's down there doing. See, if they've all went down there and went to watch Wicked in a stage play, I will be raging, Andy. I will get mad. They're watching Wicked. They're doing their stage production. I will have my shark nunchucks out the cupboard. I've got 2 plastic sharks, Andy, with a chain between them. I'll be up at Parkhead tomorrow, swinging the shark chucks.
Oh,
I think it's a very strange window, right? As I says before, Andy, when we were talking about it, it kind of feels like when you get to being a teenager and your mum starts taking you to pick your own Christmas presents, so you know what's in the packages, but she still wraps them, puts them under the tree, and you're still to be delighted on Christmas Day, but you open it and you're like, yeah, my iPhone that I knew was there.
I've done that. I never went and looked at. I'll try to look at other things like that. And
I opened all the presents and everything, Andy, before I was allowed. I was one of the veins that used to lick my finger and wet the paper and rip it, and then blame it on it. It must have been the dog. It was licking the paper.
You didn't even have a dog. Didn't even have a dog.
Didn't even have a dog.
The next door's dog to me.
Mama thought we had rats for years, Mama, and she'll be down in a minute with her slipper. She'll be down with a flip-flop looking to beat me up. I'm exposing all my secrets now, Andy. There's Wayne's out there catching up with this podcast. They'll be like, that's how you get a peek at the Christmas presents. You like them?
Giving them tips, mate, I know. Hold on. So Celtic signed. So Schlupp is signed. That's a definite. Nothing else as yet.
Nothing else as yet.
Nothing.
I just say, mate, I'm glad that Schlupp's been confirmed. It's a definite, and I'm happy with his experience. Like, very reminds me of the Aaron Moy signing. I know they're completely different, from different parts of the world, but it's very indicative of being slightly underwhelmed with the signing and thinking kind of meh about it. But then when I look at the fact that he's played all those different positions at such a high level in the Premiership, week in, week out, and he can come in and fill in what Greg Taylor does, then I'm kind of hoping he can be that inverting fullback as well, without getting caught 300 million yards out of position when it's time to defend.
James Allen Mayfield, getting Tierney and Jota in, but no striker is like going to your bed with Margot Robbie and waking up with Katie Hopkins. I just seen it at Sky Sports here.
I'm actually
Chris Fraser was a disgrace. I always thought I'm not going to have a series kind of. I'm not going to slate them because they do some good business. They have done overall over the years, but I can totally see people's point with Lowell, because when I seen Lowell coming back into Celtic after being away, I thought, oh, here we go. This is the start going to fan again. Do you know what I mean? What was that? Is that your wee thing?
Aye, that's what she says because of the cake.
Oh, right.
That's what she says, man. Kate Hopkins is supposed to be some ride. We'll take your word for it, Chris.
That's Anthony
Yeah,
Hopkins' daughter as well, isn't it?
I'm not even going to comment, mate. Aye. She was in Gladiator 2, by the way, Andy.
I retract that statement.
In that Gladiator 2, she played the part of a wolf, mate. She was outstanding.
Howling.
No got a howling, absolutely howling. No got a clue, my man. As we said, legends, right? I'm a happy chappy. I'm always dead positive, and it's something that sees me through when we're watching Celtic in the Champions League, and it's a Dortmund game and thing like that. That they kind of things, I laugh at them, right? No, for the right reasons. I laugh at them because I would roar and greet if I wasn't laughing. It's a emotional defence. I shrug it off. This window.
2 seconds, mate. Here's a Celtic thing. Hold on.
Something late coming in at the last minute. Breaking.
2 seconds.
Versatile, which will help Celtic. He can slot in that left back role and give Celtic more
Schlupp
depth in that area, but obviously many other positions as well. So he'll have that experience. He'll have a bit of pace and power into the Celtic squad. Brendan Rodgers saying he's delighted to be able to bring Jeffrey to the club. He knows that he will love it at Celtic, and he is sure that the fans will love him too. So Celtic making a deadline day signing. Jeffrey Schlupp will be joining on loan from Crystal Palace.
But where's the rest? Where's the fucking rest of them?
Well, see, that was an emergency broadcast for shit we already know, Andy, mate. Disappointing from them. Disappointing.
Sky reporters coming inside Celtic Park for sure.
Get down, Andy, you get down and batter him. Andy's about to run in the stadium. Get him. How dare you interrupt our broadcast for this emergency announcement that we already know? You get in here with a better signing. I've got a shark chuck sucking at the cupboard, Andy. I'm going to make you a set.
So what's your feelings on Greg Taylor? Because obviously nothing's come out with him signing a pre-contract with another club yet. He's at that stage where nothing's been spoke about a new contract with Celtic. Do you think there's a possibility he could stay, or do you think he's fully off? And how do you feel about that if Taylor's off? I think he gives you 100%. Right, he does get caught out with certain situations. His quality gets kind of shown up now and again, but I think going forward, he's been very effective for Celtic, and you can't doubt his commitment. On the park, I'm talking about commitment. No, obviously he's obviously not committed his future to Celtic. He had signed a deal with him. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes, what they can't agree on, whether it be money or appearances or whatever. Maybe he just fancies something different. I don't know. I heard somebody saying that his missus was wanting to go to America, but I don't know how true that is. I don't know.
I heard someone else say that they've just had a child, so they're looking to make more money in his profession, as most new parents do, look to improve their life. Greg Taylor, mate, he gives us his all. He's one of those, exactly what it says in the tin. He turns up, he gives us his all. He's not the greatest in the world, but he works very hard. He offers something going through the midfield and going forward. He always offers something there. We've seen him play some really nice passes, some critical balls. I can picture seeing replays of these passes from Greg Taylor in like 10 years' time and Celtic quizzes and going, who was this maestro passing this ball from midfield? It was Greg Taylor, the left back. It's one of those ones that are going to pop up. I think he's quite right to sit in this January window and receive every offer he's going to receive, even if he's going to walk up to Celtic Park and go, these are the clubs that have approached me. These are the wages that are approaching me. This is what I'm looking at earning. I would still like to stay. Is there any way you could match this, be on par with this, be close to this? How much do you value me the way these clubs value me? Give Celtic a chance to meet that valuation wage-wise. And if we don't meet it, then he knows what the club think of him. We did have Brendan saying earlier in the year, the club rates him at a £7 million player. Well, if he's worth £7 million, you got to pay him accordingly. I don't know what exact wage he's demanding. I believe it was in the region of, say, between 20 and 24 grand a week, which is a lot of money, considering they also get a win bonus every week they win, which is about 5 grand a week as well, every player gets. So every week Celtic win, there's another 5 grand on top of their wages. And we win a lot, Andy. We win a lot of games.
Well,
out of those 60 games a season we play. So, like, I think Greg Taylor could be reasonable. Still hanging around is no news good news. It's that old saying, innit? Is he going to pledge his future? Is he going to stay? Is he going to look at this guy coming in and competing for him, Schlupp, on loan, and think, well, when Kieran Tierney comes back, is being his number 2 that bad a deal? Is it that a down? Kieran Tierney is a world-class player. Greg Taylor is not a world-class player, but he is an excellent player who's performed in the Champions League. He has Champions League experience. He has qualities about him. I would hope he would stay, Andy. I don't know if that's going to happen exactly. I understand there's a lot of ill will towards Greg Taylor from our own support as well at times. We're always like that. We're always hardest on our own. People come in from the continent. We give them a jib and a jibe when they're shite. We give them a wee bit of critique in that. But when it's one of our own, we pound them into submission. No stone is left unturned. There's fingernails and toenails pulled off.
I think when players are spoken about and they're spoken about as being Champions League players, you take it with a pinch of salt because you go, well, Bratislava, I've got a full squad of Champions League players, but they're no Champions League standard. They've got plenty of experience, but it's losing a lot of games. And young boys, they've got Champions League players and plenty of experience of losing. So being experienced in the Champions League doesn't make you a Champions League level player. It just means you've played in that and you could have been pumped every single game, and that's no great experience to have, is it? So I don't know. It's just I've not really heard any clubs linked with Greg Taylor in any way. I've not heard anything, and that's very strange to me that he's at this stage and we're still no heard anything. It makes me think there is a possibility that he could be staying, but I don't know. There's got to be enough games for the two of them to play anyway, because there is a chance that Tierney could have injury problems. I mean, Taylor could have injury problems and he can't play. I think it's all about having a 2 players in each position to cover that kind of situation. And then we go into strikers. We get Cummings, that's a way to West Ham. Well, certainly signed a pre-contract. I think Celtic turned down the bid that they were trying to get him in now. So I don't know what happened there. I think he's still at Celtic at the moment. Again, a player who has got Champions League experience because they come on, never touched the ball against Villa. Never, other than that, never played with Celtic, but he's away down to West Ham. And you just wonder with these players, obviously they're getting a lot of money and stuff like that, but have they got a real future? We've had other ones that have went down south, Vata, and the other boy that went to Millwall as well, players away down there. And they just seem to you never hear of them again.
Who was it, Kelly? Who went to Millwall?
A lot of them don't seem to make it, and it's like they get apprenticeship, they don't seem to. People say they don't seem to have inroads into the first team. Well, a lot of these players are just out the door before they even kind of take their opportunity in the first team, and they're off. I think there should be a gradual kind of working your way up to earn that move. A lot of these players have done nothing in the first team in any way. But that's a whole different story, innit? You're delving into the youth system and whether you're getting the worth out of that with the amount of funds that you're putting into the academies and all that, and getting nothing out of it. Basically, you're training players for them to leave for nothing, just a bit.
I think both parties can be wrong and both parties can be right at the same time, which is very confusing. I think the young players are right where they think they're at the level where they should be playing in Celtic's first team. They think they're developmentally good enough to play for Celtic's first team. Certainly when they go out and they go away to the English Championship and that, some of them seem to thrive and do very well in those setups down there, making good money, playing some good football. And then you come back and you get clips and you see videos of them performing, maybe a great goal from Vata, things like that, and you think to yourself, look, they could have done it at Celtic. Mikey Johnston's another one. They could have done it at Celtic. They had their opportunities. Mikey Johnston certainly did. Other players like Vata didn't have as many opportunities. The fact that they're thriving away in these places, I like to think that they're looking now and going, at the level I'm at now, I could play for Celtic's first team. But when I arrived here, I thought I could play for Celtic's first team, but they didn't have the quality to maintain it week in and week out in the first team structure. And we're talking about winning medals versus not winning medals and being in dogfights, relegation battles, things that you learn in football throughout your career that these youngsters haven't learned. The Highland League only provides so much experience. You're right, Andy, it should be an incremental growth. That's why I was like, buy Shamrock Rovers, get us that club, League of Ireland, access to Irish, access to European football. Then all our youth players are going there, they're developing in Ireland, they're learning about Celtic. They've still got the love and the joy of the club. The Irish support get to enjoy that. We do that in other countries as well. Get players to as high a level as we possibly can, and then we bring them into our first team. So I think both sides are, Celtic are wrong for not having that structure to bring them right in, that pathway right into the first team. The younger players are wrong for wanting to play right here in the now. They're right to leave at that time, and then they'll understand that. I think maybe Jota coming in as well, and Greg Taylor maybe getting a little look at Jota returning. He left for the money and the riches, and he's returned for the love, the support, the adulation, the winning, the trophies. Maybe Greg Taylor doesn't get the love and support and adulation, but he certainly gets the trophies, the wages. Maybe he's second thinking about leaving. Maybe you're spot on, Andy. Maybe he's thinking, you know what? Keep it radio silent, see what offers I get, make a quiet decision, wait until the summer. Maybe he goes in the summer. I think it was Plungebeak Nugget says there in chat, he's definitely off in the summer. So, like, maybe he's got those offers and he's just keeping very quiet about it, and Celtic know exactly, but they don't want to give the fans any other reason to hit him where a stick.
That's a great point. I know, obviously, he's maybe no wanting to get pelters or anything like that, which is fair dues. But I think, obviously, that the longer it goes on, the more you're thinking he is leaving. So, well, not only if we get Tierney back, but if Taylor goes, we're going to need another left back in there. This boy's just on loan for 6 months. So that's an area that we're going to have to address in the summer again. And
we've got other uploads coming as well, haven't we, Andy, after this one? So just to say to everybody in chat, right, look, thank you very much for being here. I know most other Celtic podcasts would have closed with the window. We thought we'd stay on a bit longer, talk about it, give you a wee chance to vent in chat and that as well. Andy, I don't know what else we've got coming up. I don't always listen to the schedule, as you discovered earlier on.
Well, Wednesday will be a post-match pod. Normally we do an actual podcast on a Wednesday at 7 o'clock, but because the game's on during the week, it will be a post-match only. Are you on this Tuesday?
Yeah. So I'm on tomorrow, Andy, Tuesday, for my first afternoon show. So that I'll bring out basically the close. If anything happens over the night during this window, I'll bring that up in the morning, talk about that then. I don't know if we're going to do a build-up to the game, a little build-up show or something. I'm sure we'll sort that out and we'll hash it out between the lads. And then we always do the post-game. So the post-game's locked in stone. That'll definitely be there. And then I'll be back on Thursday afternoon as well. So, yeah, we'll try to bring as many as we can.
We've got a usual Friday focus at 7 o'clock. Usually get a wee segments flung in there on a Friday and a wee look at the next game at the weekend.
So sorry there, smell the glove. On about 11:30 tomorrow. I think that's the time that we stuck on, Andy, was it? 11:30?
I am pretty sure, aye.
So trying to either be before the big boys or just after the big boys, and then maybe one day we will be the big boys. If you keep out there, right, if all you keep on, as it says, right, smashing the like, smashing the subscribe, and obviously putting us on social media, you can help this channel transform. We can be the big boys. We can transform to the top. We can change the scene. No longer will it be paid members of the press at Celtic fan events. It will be Celtic fans asking the questions. Think about that now. You know, no longer getting...
I'd love that opportunity. I would. I'd love that opportunity. I don't think they would like it enough, but...
No. Me and you'd go hose down, Andy, and throw it out in 3 seconds.
No.
They'd be like, potato up. I'd be wearing my light up suit, Andy.
You'd
have the sharp nunchucks.
They probably wouldn't even let me get in.
Well, it happened to me. It happens, but like as I say, my man, look, thanks very much for being here, Andy, and doing this with us. Looking to wrap it up, legends, and get on with the rest of our night. Get to sleep, hopefully. For some of you, I'll have work in the morning and stuff, be up and about. No, you're a legend. Everyone in chat, thank you so much for being here. You'll see me, see when it's just me on here as well, when it's me in the driving seat. I've got other things I do. I've got filters I throw on. I'll bam it up, but nothing's wrote down, legends. It all comes naturally. It happens in the moment. Sometimes I'll say something crazy. We'll have a good laugh. Other times I'll waffle a lot of mince. Please feel free to tell me whatever occasion's happening. And as I says, make sure you're showing support to the stream, the pod, smashing the like, smashing the subscribe, and share us to your social media. It's the only way it grows, legends. And until the next time I see you, stay blessed, legends, right? Hail, hail, Big Andy gets to say bye-bye.
Aye,
Say goodbye.
Aye,
Andy, under pressure.
aye.